Hello, thank you for joining me today. This is a video about Resident Evil 6 and about why it sort of plays and feels fundamentally different from previous Resident Evils. Just a little bit of explanation. I did go and pick this up at a midnight release on Tuesday morning, and I woke up later Tuesday morning and started playing it right away. I've played Chris's scenario. I've played a little bit of Leon's and Jake's, but I haven't beaten them yet. But I wanted to talk about this while it's fresh in my mind, because I feel like I have some perspective on the series. I've been a fan, since the beginning, and what is different about 6, I think, kind of in the core, I think is pretty easy to feel when you play it, but it might be a little hard to put your finger on. What it really revolves around is ammunition, and the different role that ammunition plays in Resident Evil 6, and how this undermines the building of and release of tension as you play the game. I'm sure that Shinji Mikami, when they were coming up with the idea for Resident Evil, knew that in a real zombie apocalypse, ammunition would be more valuable than gold. The gameplay mechanics that are sort of the core of the series have always been based around your survivability being intrinsically linked with how much and how powerful your ammo is. It's sort of the principle of just needing and conserving this ammunition. So, normally you have to scavenge for your ammunition, and you have a limited inventory in which to keep it. Now, on the surface, Resident Evil 6 keeps these elements, so it might seem like it's doing the same things that the previous games were, but it's different in a couple of ways. You kind of have this balance where when you start off, you have maybe not very much ammunition, but you also don't have very many enemies, and they're not all that strong. So you get a little bit more ammo, maybe some stronger ammo, and then you have more enemies, or you have stronger enemies. And so there's kind of this balance that's always been a key element of the series. And even Resident Evil 4, that radically altered Resident Evil. It changed a lot of stuff. In fact, as a longtime fan, it was pretty hard for me to swallow. But what makes it an excellent Resident Evil game is that it keeps this dynamic, this tension between ammunition and your enemies. Resident Evil 5 even kept this dynamic, even when you were able to go back and farm previous levels for ammunition and stuff like that. Because you have a limited inventory, you still have that exact same tension. That exact same relationship. It never got rid of that. In 6, however, it throws that out the window, and two things are responsible for that. One is that the battles are faster. What this does is it brings a bit of a twitch mechanic to the game, and that's never really been in there. It's always been about careful deliberation. So when you crank up this speed of things, what it does is it tends to make you actually less cautious, and it tends to encourage you to go through more ammo. So rather than feeling like you mismanaged your ammo, rather than feeling like a personal responsibility for that because you had a chance, but maybe you didn't collect enough ammunition, so you just didn't have it, or you managed it poorly, you panicked and you shot too much. Instead, this game kind of encourages you to just consume those resources, and then when they're gone, you're kind of like, well, hey, why do I have so little ammo? Because it doesn't actually sort of work into the gameplay dynamic, because now all of a sudden you're encouraged to use a lot more ammo. It would just make sense for you to have more ammo. It's kind of silly. So to counterbalance this, your melee attacks are highly effective. So, you can melee even difficult enemies effectively. And what this means is that there's pretty much no value to your ammunition. So it's almost like the game is telling you, hey, go ahead, run through all of your ammunition. And, if you do, we'll go ahead and we'll let you hand-to-hand your way out of a battle. So instead of being like your life's blood, ammunition kind of becomes this optional thing that you can, maybe you need it or maybe you don't, but it's not intrinsically linked to your survivability. You don't desperately need that ammunition more than anything else in the game. It fundamentally alters the release and building of tension that you have in the Resident Evil series. I've been a Resident Evil fan for a really long time. It offers a gameplay style that is unique among video games, and one that meshes very well with my my personality and my demeanor, and just sort of. I mean, I play all kinds of different games, and RPGs and action games, and all kinds of stuff. But Resident Evil, it's just held a special place for a really long time because of this gameplay mechanic. And Resident Evil 6 changes that. It's too bad. It's definitely a disservice to longtime fans, or I guess maybe just people who have played Resident Evil for that tension, for that, gameplay experience that you got. So the devaluation of the ammunition, this might appeal to certain kinds of fans. I think they're going to have to take out some of the legacy elements if they're going to make that work. Even like I said, things like having to wait to reload, and some of these things almost don't make as much sense in the context of this. But what I really hope is that they realize that this was a very, very foolish idea, and that they've probably alienated a lot of fans. They're playing this and they're feeling something is missing, or like something is kind of empty, and it's because they're not reliant on their ammunition to survive in this game. And some people said that these games stopped being survival horror well before 4 and 5, but it's this shift in gameplay that has changed this series from, or maybe just a survival game, to just like a running and gunning kind of shooting game. So I'm pretty disappointed. I may do a review of Resident Evil 6, so I hope that you will look forward to that once I finish off playing Jake and Leon's storylines. I may not. I may just do a different video, but I did take this whole week off just to play Resident Evil 6, so chances are I'll have another video come up here on YouTube pretty soon. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me next time.